Well, guess what?
What?
Mr. Mars has driven probably one of the. Yes? Are you calling somebody?
No, yes.
He's hallelujah.
Mr. Mars had a chance to drive one of the most popular SUVs in the world. That would be the Chevy Tahoe. And he is now to talk to you about that.
And it is the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe. I haven't driven one in a couple of years, so I was really happy to see that I was going to get this. It's assembled in Arlington, Texas. So this is a Texas vehicle, very close to home. And it comes in 6 different trim levels: LS, LT, RST, E71, which is obviously this off-road suspension. You got the Premier, and then the High Country, the luxury. So we were driving the Premier, the 4-wheel drive trim level. Now, this is considered by the government as a standard SUV. That we used to call them full-size SUV, but I guess that means it's standard now, full-size. I had the polar white tri-coat option. I love black and white cars. I love that color combination.
Police version.
Yes, almost, except it had the white hood instead of the black hood. Of course, it had LED lighting all the way around on the exterior, including the fog lights, daytime running lights, had the heated folding side mirrors, all the things you would expect off of a high-end SUV. Power liftgate with power panoramic sunroof, power assist side steps with perimeter lighting. So whenever they would come on and it would start going back and forth, they would light up the ground so you could see it. 22-inch polished aluminum wheels were also an option that we had. Now, it did have the seating for 7 front and second row bucket seats, both of which were heated on this particular vehicle. Had a 17-inch infotainment screen up front. Now, this was not the vertical type of screen like some of the cars have. This was more of a horizontal screen, and I like it much better than the vertical because it just seems I could find things a little bit easier looking across instead of trying to search up and down. 15-inch heads-up display that was really good at seeing how things were going. And the rear seat had the media system. Now, this is the 12.6-inch touch screens that are on the back of the front seats. Now, I don't particularly care for the way they did that. To me, it's kind of like an add-on. It's like it's hanging there. I like it much better when they build it in. But it worked well. Everybody seemed to be happy with that. Now, to make this thing go, because this thing is a little bit on the heavy side, 5,700 pounds, we had the 6.2-liter V8. Now, this is a $2,400 option on it. The standard engine is a 5-point-liter, and I'm thinking that that's probably a very adequate engine. But the 6.2-liter has 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. And putting that with the 10-speed automatic, it is rated to tow 8,200 pounds, which is a pretty good-sized load. You can see them pulling big boats and things. Now, the miles per gallon, the EPA says you should be looking for about 14 on the highway, 14 in the city, 18 on the highway, and with a combination of 16. Now, the week I had it, I drove it 267.8 miles. And I got 16.8 on as an overall average for that time. And I was real happy with that because I really liked driving this vehicle. It's got plenty of power to spare, particularly if you're thinking about towing something. It's going to give you plenty of juice for that to get to that 8,400 pounds. So I also liked driving it. It was very quiet. I thought it had very responsive steering in that it's not a race car, but getting around town where you're maneuvering around the streets or through a parking lot,
tight.
I thought it worked really well for that size of vehicle. I was really impressed with it. And it's also got a lot of glass, so you've got a real nice field of view whenever you're looking around to see what's around you.
The pillars don't get in the way.
No, it was really nice. I also like the magnetic ride control. I mean, that was some nice stuff there.
Absolutely.
Now, cost. Now, the base model price, the LS base model price, $62,995. That's what it'll take to get into a Tahoe. Now, the base trim price for the Premier that we have
Here we go.
$78,000, which I thought that was pretty good. But we had an option or two.
You did.
Our MSRP as tested was $92,000.
Oh my God.
So we had some options, like I say, the paint, the wheels, and lots of other things.
The only option that it didn't have is the Cadillac option. That would have been $192,000.
Yeah. You got that.
We call it an Escalade.
If you're looking for something to compare this to, I mean, you could look across at the Ford Expedition, up about the same size, $64,995 to get started. Nissan Armada, $58,800. Toyota Sequoia, which is strictly all you're going to get there is a hybrid. You're not going to get a straight gasoline engine, but it's $64,000. Now, the GMC Yukon is the sister vehicle to the Tahoe, or the cousin, whatever you want to call it. And it'll start at about $69,000, but I've always thought the GMC is, it used to be the working man's truck.
Mhm.
But now,
GMC.
yeah.
GMC now is
Now it's the luxury.
the Chevy and the Cadillac.
Yeah. It's got a lot nicer. So its base price, that makes sense that it starts a little bit more. But I really enjoyed this vehicle. I thought it would do a lot of things, and I don't know what all I would do to improve it. And that's my review of the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier 4-wheel drive.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Hey, if you'd like time now for Jeff's Car Culture, the effect of car clubs and the effect that car clubs have had on us.
Sure. And as if a classic car and customs didn't have enough history of their own, car clubs bring another aspect of excitement to the culture. For many individuals, the film American Graffiti, Don, was an intriguing and mesmerizing look into the past lifetime. Being given a slight glimpse into the Pharaoh's Car Club, that was the gang back then, there was always a wonder towards what that lifestyle would be like in a tangible scale. Car clubs weren't always the way that the majorities of them are today. Now they're peaceful and altruistic, so good for them. Car clubs have been around since the automobile was available to the general public. The individual's interpretation of how make a factory production look better or how to make the machines faster, stronger were always the top priorities. Groups of builders, drivers, they used to stake out the availability of back roads before the drag strips were created.
Absolutely.
The existence of car clubs has kept the pursuit of building and restructuring cars popular to this day. Through the 50s and 60s, car clubs became immensely popular for building faster and the one-off looking cars. The process involved chopping, channeling, splicing different parts of the car, different pieces to make a wild creation. The NASCAR and the Southern California Timing Association gained tremendous fan following. Street racing also arose from that time, within that time frame. With street racing came territory. Builders flocked together to create the meanest of the mean street machine in order to race down the local strip. With the desire of speed also came the importance of being flashy and standing out, Don, from the normal appearance of everyone else's cars.
What are you saying?
I'm telling you. Clubs would hold local events flaunting their custom creations around the neighborhoods, while other car clubs would join to flaunt off their own. With blood boiling about those who was better and who was worse and who was faster, tempers would flare into violent outbursts. One notorious example was the territory battles that happened in Artesia, California, in 1959, March to be exact, while hosting a meeting with 16 members of the Dutchman Car Club, suffered a brutal attack by the Townsman Car Club. Allegedly, 30 members were involved. The rumble took place at the Moose Lodge Hall on East Artesia Boulevard, March 25th. For months, the investigation went on. The outcome ended up with 13 townsmen arrested. Members of them confessed to the crime. The experience was thought to be the end of the Long Beach Car Club scene. Well, while the spirit of territory was simmered down and less violent, car club scene pursued to gain the respect throughout building outstanding hot rods and the customs. While still having separate desires of what's cool and what's not, there's still outspoken opinion between the groups. Whether or not chopped or dropped is the way to go. Billet everything, that's just your taste. Opinions on greasers versus gold chainers, well, that's always a popular opposite. Despite the difference between the culture and different clubs, there will always be one thing in common: the love that each of us have for their cars, and moving on to what could become even a better organization. So there you go, classic cars.
You know, Don, George said that you started a club in Westbury.
I did not. It was kind of a club. We didn't have a name. It was just a bunch of us friends hanging together. We didn't have a club per se with a name.
Yeah, everybody had that. You had, your buddies in the neighborhood. You get together, you go to Don's house and bring your cars over, and we'll, tune them up or talk shop.
We went over to Ross's house with his 55 Chevrolet and his hot rod engine and open headers and all that stuff. And I'll never forget the last time I saw that car. He had done a bunch of work to it and didn't adjust the valves. Okay, before he started it, tried to start it, and it coughed and sputtered and bent every push rod in it, like that. That was the end of that.
Jason, when Jason had his 50 Chevy, they had his buddies from school, so they would go over to like your house for a weekend and work on your hot rod, and then in a couple of weeks, when everybody's got time, they'd come over to somebody else's house.
Did that.
It could involve painting, it could involve wiring, it could whatever the case.
We had a group like that. We go from one house to the next one. But we call ourselves the Greasy Wrench Garage.
I believe it.
unofficially.
I
I would
believe it.
believe that.
Let me see your
Yeah.
fingernails. There you
Yeah.
go.
But yeah,
You've turned into an old man,
I know.
or maybe you've always been an old man.
Well, not quite. Just since yesterday.
Okay. All right. All right. Time now for this hour's car review. I personally had a chance to drive the 2025 Subaru Ascent. Do we have pictures of that?
Yeah.
If you give me just one moment,
Why?
because I had it listed that you were in the next hour, but we got it, bub. We are there.
There.
It's right there. It says right there.
Okay. So good.
Yes, the Subaru Ascent for 2025 is built in Lafayette, Indiana, not Louisiana.
Okay.
They both end in A, though.
Yeah.
Available trim levels include the Premium, the Onyx Edition, the Limited Bronze, Touring, and Onyx Touring. I got to drive the Ascent Onyx Touring S, which is a subculture, so to speak. Mid-size, 3-row SUV. It will seat 7 or 8 human beings and a dog or two.
Cool.
All new in 2019. Modern grille, conservative SUV body. It's attractive, but it is conservative. No bells or whistles with it. Black wheel opening trims over the wheel wells. And the wheels themselves are designated per the trim level that you buy. Sunshade atop the rear hatch glass. Conservative design in the back end too. Dual exhaust, at least it looks that way. I have a feeling that one of them doesn't really work all that well. What I liked, overall conservative design is distinct in today's flood of SUVs on the market today. Interior highlights, also complementing the conservative exterior. The dash layout is conservative as well. Big infotainment screen, one that you really like, one of the best in design and ease of use too. Seating is comfortable with high quality materials. 3rd row headrests retract to open up a rear view across all of those seats behind you. The cargo area is tight with the 3rd row up, as you can imagine. What I liked about it, this is a very comfortable ride designed for long trips with the kids. What could use improvement? Lots of 3-row competitors with more room in the back. Engine, 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's a flat engine or horizontally opposed cylinders in it. Keeps the weight really low in the car, which is good for handling if that's what you're into in an Ascent by Subaru. Horsepower, 260 horses with 377 pound-feet of torque with a CVT transmission. It'll tow up to 5,000 pounds, which is pretty darn good. City gets 19 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway for a combined of 21. I got 23.1 miles per gallon over 340.7 miles. What I liked, peppy engine that marries well to the CVT. What could use improvement? Nothing, actually. It works really well together. Low center of gravity helps the Ascent have some very good handling. Ride and handling, high safety scores with a great ride. What could use improvement? More of it. That's all I can say. Base trim price, $52,050. Price as tested, $53,802. Base model price is $39,995. Competitors, Toyota Grand Highlander for $41,360. That's where it starts. The Chevy Traverse, $40,800. And the VW Atlas starts at $39,310. Next week, we're going to review the 2025 Jeep Wrangler Jeep Wagoneer S Limited 4xe. And I've got some news on the engine on that one as well.
Cool.
So that's my review this week of the 2025 Subaru Ascent. All right. And we'll talk.